The non-biological explanation of OCD, the cognitive theory. Faulty information processing is when biased attention is paid on a threat or irrelevant information and it's difficult to inhibit responses. Perceptions or thoughts we have about our experiences will trigger an emotional response, which will lead to us triggering a behavior to deal with this response. A lack of confidence. It's been said that people with OCD have a lack of confidence in their memory, and this can explain checking behaviors. They do not trust in their recall and feel compelled to check. Inflated responsibility. This is a cognitive bias where you believe you are personally responsible for causing harm or failing to prevent harm. Woods et al. 2000 did a meta-analysis of studies that aimed to test how memory related to checking behaviors and found that those suffering with OCD had a slightly worse memory for recall, and they felt as if their memory was inadequate compared to controls. Combined, you can see how faulty processing information and lack of confidence may lead to symptoms of OCD. Hypervigilance is being constantly in fight or flight mode. It's a physical illness, and it can lead to difficulty sleeping, eating too much, or not eating enough. Detection of threats then triggers high anxiety, which leads to compulsive behavior, which reduces anxiety. People with OCD may be hypervigilant. This is supported by Williams et al. In 1997, meaning they are constantly scanning for threats in the environment and have an attention bias towards potential threats, forming the basis for obsession. Ranhan, 2004, a case study of someone with OCD centered on blood, could recall all their past experiences with blood. This shows hypervigilance. Early childhood experiences. Traumatic events lead to those with OCD to find their obsessions and latch onto these events. Overprotective parents and controlling parents interfere rearing attitudes which lead to the development of OCD. Early childhood experiences could cause a general negative belief system about how the world works. This could lead to intrusive thoughts which are misinterpreted and made important, causing anxiety. To deal with the anxiety, a person adopts a counterproductive behavior. This gives them temporary relief, reinforcing the faulty thought pattern. Unless broken, it becomes self-perpetuating. Strengths. Pediatric OCD Treatment Study, POTS. This is a study that you will have learnt about. POTS found that CBT is a better treatment for OCD than drug therapy. Slofsky and Kirk, 1997. They studied people with OCD, and they told them to keep a diary. Diaries of people with OCD who were told deliberately to suppress their thoughts, but others were allowed to reign free. The frequency of intrusive thoughts were higher on days that they tried to suppress them. However, this study was self-report data, so therefore it cannot be truly reliable. Van Volkum et al. 1966 found that CBT it was just as effective as drug treatment. This theory has a practical application of CBT, therefore it has high face validity. Weaknesses. This theory puts the blame on the individual and parents, so therefore it lacks determinism. There's no argument to say people should be hypervigilant towards threats, so therefore this doesn't explain why people with OCD do have these compulsions. It doesn't consider the role of individual differences in why some young people overcome childhood experiences and don't develop OCD. There's no evidence that faulty cognition actually leads to symptoms. The other explanation of the brain.